Hi, hello everyone. It's Friday, so it's time for our get together. I'm Marcia Grace, your Calm Creativity Connector, and we have been talking about patience for the last couple of weeks. And today we're talking about The Devil Made Me Do It. Remember, I don't know if you're old enough to remember that show where um, uh, it's called Laugh-In, I think. It was a bunch of funny skits, and so this line, "The devil made me do it." Of course, it's very old anyway, but it's a good excuse, right? We blame the devil for getting into us and having us do things that we know we shouldn't do or say we didn't want to do, and what have you. So, um, and I bring that up because it's our lack of patience in ourselves that really creates a situation where we feel like we are out of control and that we don't do things that we really want to do. So, um, why do we lose patience in our relationships with one another? I want to talk about relationships today, in specifically regarding patience, because we say things to our loved ones that we regret. Right? You get angry, you get upset, and you say things and you wish you hadn't. So, of course, where is patience in that situation? Right? Nowhere to be found. Okay, so we would like to have some more patience in our relationships, I hope. So let's examine just for a couple of seconds here why we lack patience in our relationships. Things I've heard are things like, well, we expect people to know what we're thinking. They're close to us. They live with us. They know us inside out. They should know what we're thinking. And when they don't, we get frustrated. We get angry, and we lose our patience. Hi, Michael. So yeah, I think that's one reason. Another is we believe irrationally that everyone thinks the same way we do, right? They should, of course, because we're right. So if I'm right, well, then everybody else must think the same way. And of course, that's not true. So when they don't think the same way we do, what do? We get upset. We get angry. We lose our patience. We strike out. We lash back. We say things we didn't want to say. And we lose friendships. I mean, that to me is, I think that's the really difficult thing. And I've lost some friends because I really didn't want to experience. I was afraid, literally afraid of being jumped on. That this person would lose patience with something I said, and they would just blow up. And to me, that's not a comfortable situation. So um, I found I had to move away from those relationships because they don't nurture. And you don't want to be that kind of person, right? You don't want to be that person who loses patience just because somebody said something that you didn't agree with, and then you jumped all over them and scared them. That can be frightening. So, yeah, so, and I've been guilty of that myself, plenty. So I'm sure my kids would probably agree with that. However, oh, you don't, huh? Michael says he never loses his patience. Well, then you ought to be talking about this subject today. So I have to say, I have not gotten to the point where I never lose patience, but I surely, surely, surely am a long, long way from where it used to be. And for that, I'm very grateful. So, but let's talk about the benefits of being patient. So when you're patient, you tend to be able to listen to people better, right? You're not in such a hurry to say what you want to say and get it out and let them know how brilliant you are. You kind of are able to sit there and just listen to what they're saying and hear them fully. Let them finish their thought. How many times have you been talking to someone and you're trying to get your point across or complete a story or whatever, and they interrupt you right in the middle? And then you lose your train of thought, and then you can't remember, and it's again not a pleasant situation. So Okay, Michael, right. So that's not where we want to be, right? We don't want that. So you want to be a better listener. You want to listen to people. You want to hear what they're saying so that they feel acknowledged. Because that's really what it is. It's about being acknowledged when when you're really listening to someone, and they appreciate that. That's appreciated. So. So that's definitely one thing. You become a better listener when you develop your patience. So another thing is you become more compassionate and empathetic, just like Michael, who is sweet and innocent and pure. And you create a softness in your union, in your relationship, because there's stress can't get in there. When you're feeling compassion for someone, there's no stress. There's no, none of this tension. There's only a sense of outpouring and giving, and that's what you will have when you allow your patience to be present, rather than that impatient urge that wants to leap ahead and come to the conclusion or whatever it is. So, really important to recognize that patience will bring out your compassion, and that in turn will just magnify the beauty of your relationships, because you want that. You want healthy relationships. You want peaceful relationships. I'm sure you do, right? I mean, don't we all? And yet, why is it that we find so much difficulty in so many of our relationships? For these very reasons that we're talking about now. So another thing that patience will help you to accomplish, and this is a big one, this is a really, really big one, is you will learn to forgive. Forgive yourself, forgive other people. When you develop your patience ability, you will recognize that instead of rushing in to judge because you didn't even let the person finish their sentence, you'll be able to take time to see all sides of the situation. That's what patience allows you to do. It allows you to really stop and just take your time and let all possibilities emerge from the discussion or the situation. And in that way, you can see that other people are doing the best they can. They really are. We're all doing the best we can, are we not? Are we not doing the best we can as we perceive it at the moment? Now, it may not be the best. I didn't say it was the best, but we're doing the best we think we can in the moment. And I think that's what most people are not willing to acknowledge in other people, and even in themselves. In ourselves, we tend to beat ourselves up if we're not perfect, right? So that's an important aspect of the patience, because patience allows you to see the other person from many different angles, and to recognize that maybe in that particular moment they're doing something inappropriate. That's I was with my grandkids the other day, and one of my grandsons was doing something really inappropriate, really totally inappropriate, and I have to admit, I wasn't as patient as I would have liked to have been to get him to stop his behavior. But hey, nobody's perfect. So, and those grandkids, sometimes. But anyway, so, these minor things, the love is still there, and he knew that afterwards. Even though I gave him a couple of dirty looks, but he knew that I loved him, and we kind of winked at each other afterwards when he stopped doing what he was doing. So that's part of forgiveness. Is just huge. It's a huge topic, and I could spend 2 hours talking about that on its own. So I'm not going to go there, but suffice it to say that your forgiveness ability will increase with your patience ability. So that's a good thing too. And then another one is when you develop your patience, you will find yourself not hanging on to grudges like you might have done in the past, because when you're patient, you're focusing on, let's say we're having a conversation, you're focusing on the conversation in the moment, and you're not thinking about what's going to happen next. You're right there in the moment, listening to this person. And because you're staying rooted in the moment, you're aware that nothing stays the same forever, right? So even if they're saying something that's inappropriate or maybe seems hurtful, maybe you feel they're judging you, whatever it is, it's not going to last. It's not going to stay that way forever, and it'll pass. And you can help it along by maintaining a sense of neutrality, by maintaining your patience and seeing it through to the end, and then responding in whatever way your inner guidance, of course, directs you to do. But that won't come if you don't take the time to be patient about the situation. Then you're going to find yourself having a grudge against this person for having insulted you or whatever they did, and it can turn into a whole horrible mess, and it's just another stress in your life that you don't need, right? Who needs that? You don't want to encourage those kinds of things. So keep in mind that patience here will just be an amazing help to you. So these are all the reasons, and there are many more, of course, where patience will reduce the stress in your life. And, because stress comes from, rushing around, not taking time to do the right thing, not giving yourself a chance to catch your breath, feeling out of control, all the different things that cause us stress. And when you develop your sense of patience, there's no room for stress there. Patience and stress are antithetical. They cannot come together. You're either one or you're the other. So choose patience, please, by all means. Because, as I said, for all these different reasons that we just discussed, and you want to reduce your stress, and, doing that will lead you to a happier and a healthier life, which is what I want for you. That's what we want. I want it for me. I want it for you. I want it for everybody, so that we can enjoy the life that we have been given to its fullest extent. All right, I'm calling it short today. This is. I'm probably not going to be around next week. Most likely not. My daughter is going into the hospital for surgery, and please, I would love if you'd put her in your prayers. So I may be a little bit busy. So if you don't hear from me next week, I'll be back the week after, God willing. And so, without further ado, as I always say, please come join me in my Facebook group, Calm, Creative, Joyful for the Busy Woman. And if you enjoyed this discussion, please pass it along to other people you think would benefit. And give me a like, give me a comment, tell me what you think. I always love to hear those. And remember, everything begins with a thought. So keep those thoughts light and have a beautiful week. Until next time. Bye-bye.